Today I'm asking, can I grow a forest without planting a tree? I've been inspired by the work of Planet Wild to stop fighting the land and start partnering with it. I'm going to show you exactly how large these trees can get by focusing on the underground forest that's already located behind my large dam. To give you an idea of what's possible, I want to show you the best example on the Dustups ranch. This is Lone Tree that Remy and I are going to go show you. Well, pros and cons to the work we've done here. This has gotten dramatically worse. This was not excavated like this. This was the water building up there. You can see that little plateau we've made, and then it basically hydro excavated underneath, and just barely the steel's hanging in there to keep this in place. But that's not the project for today. This is Lone Tree. 2 years ago, I came over here and very, very heavily pruned it back. In fact, I think this probably could do with some more severe cutting. You can see that it's still doing okay. There's a little bit of new growth coming out. It's a little early for that. But more importantly, there's no concentration of growth down low. All of the growth that we're seeing is exactly where we want it. We want it up here in the canopy. I think I can take quite a bit of this down. So like that one, I'll need the chainsaw to get through. But if I take maybe these two bigger limbs off, then we can keep getting this to focus and send all of this growth up. And we want to get rid of this side growth. But I think I did the pruning correctly on this one, where I didn't take too much and it's still looking healthy and vigorous and there's new growth coming out. But one project that I'll probably have the volunteers work on in April, if we have extra time, is we need to build a splash pad here, because this is hanging on by a thread until when that collapses, all of this is going to fall apart. And I was worried about people getting stabbed by those things. It's not nearly as big of a concern when they're 90 degrees the other direction. The next thing I want to show you is a failure, or probably a more fair way to categorize that is a learning opportunity. Before I show you the failure, Remy and I had a mini adventure just getting out of the truck. There is wildlife absolutely everywhere. Just imagine how much of a difference it makes as we encourage the plant life to thrive that feeds all the wildlife out here. Remy, down. Good boy. Let's go, Remy. Let's get your GoPro on. Explore. He'll come over here. Ooh, hey, deer prints. Wait, I see one too, but that seems that would be a huge deer. Yeah, look at that, those are deer. Awesome. Good to know they use this road. What are you up to, Remy? Oh boy. That's a mountain lion. That's why I've got the handgun, if you're wondering. Remy, you pee on everything. I guess dogs are gonna dog. 2 years ago, I was out here working in the winter, pruning this area, and the increase in the vegetation is absolutely enormous. I'm standing next to the 2 trees where I spent the most time, and they're thriving. However, I think it would be disingenuous, to say the least, to give myself credit because of the pruning. That big dam that my truck is sitting on is the reason this area has exploded with growth. But this desert olive, forest area, angustifolia is the reason that I called this a failure. The tree itself is doing okay. It took 2 years to recover because I didn't kill it, but I pruned absolutely everything, trying to encourage a central leader. It's hard to assign myself the exact amount of blame because in 2024 we had the worst possible drought category, which is exceptional. So of course the tree didn't grow that much, and combine that with my pruning efforts beforehand, it went into some severe shock. However, earlier this year, as the rain started coming, this tree did start putting on new leaves and new growth, so I'm expecting over the next 2 to 3 years, I should see substantial vertical growth out of this desert olive, although these things top out at 10 or 15 feet, so we'll see what we can get out of it. The main lesson I've learned is that I don't need to be quite so aggressive with the pruning, and I also learned about the process. The last time I was here, I had to work in the middle of all the thorns and the leaves, and it's very difficult to see what I'm doing. But now that it's the middle of the winter and all of the leaves have dropped off these trees, I can use a brush cutter safely to get myself better access and I guess more importantly, go faster because I spend hours pruning a single tree. I want to be able to do this work more often, and of course I want to be a lot more efficient while I do it. Not just in terms of the cutting, but the results. Good boy, Remy. Good boy. Maybe you can hang out in the shade and calm down a little bit. Probably not. Okay, the first tool I want to start with is gloves. But the second tool I want to start with is the brush cutter. I'm also going to grab, I think I left the pruners in the bed. So these pruners are Daniel's tool. They're not essential. I have secateurs on my belt, but whenever we turn this on, this is hydraulically powered, or mechanically powered anyway. It's a lot easier, less cut. Then the big difference is going to be the brush cutter. This thing will go through, I think, the acacia branches way more efficiently. Okay, we're going to try this to start on this thicker branch because all of those thorns that I shot on these little branches, they just get caught constantly. So much easier. So this isn't meant to be the actual pruning, this is just access. I can tell you from experience that would have taken 10 times as long because by the time I get caught up in all those thorns reaching in there, it's so much faster. So all of this growth that you're looking at right here is desert olive propping up from probably the 8 or 10 stems that I cut back. So I want this thing growing up. So we're just gonna knock it all back. The danger, of course, is making sure that I don't get carried away. I don't want to nick the main stem here. Okay, hang on, buddy. Hang on. I got you. Hang on, buddy. There you go, buddy. You're out. Oh, boy. Gosh, you were screaming in my ear. I don't blame you. It hurts. Oh, poor Remy. I have 3 dogs. I have Ace and Bentley here at home, and then I have Remy out on the ranch. I spend a lot of time just commuting back and forth, and the last thing I need is the headache of going to the vet every time one of the animals needs some treatment. That and just going to sit in a waiting room is really not a good use of my time. That's my favorite part of using Dutch, today's sponsor. It's telemedicine for your animals. A few weeks ago, Ace developed this weird cough that sounds like, which I can't imitate very well. Anyway, it was annoying and didn't sound very good for him. I wanted to get him looked at. Dutch got us all nice and squared away. Turns out it was allergy related. We got a treatment plan on the spot and that was all settled, and I didn't have to leave my home. Dutch only works with veterinarians that are licensed in your state, and they are available 24/7. And they can treat over 150 different conditions. It's just one membership fee, no visit fees, no clinic fees, and you get unlimited visits. All in, I'm saving about $550 a year on vet visits that I don't need. The subscription covers everything. Learn more about Dutch by going to the QR code that you see on the screen or click the link in the description. One of the core ideas I want to show you is the way I'm cutting this American sneezeweed. What we want to do is we want to do the Farmer Managed Regeneration. I don't remember the acronym. I'll look it up. That's what it's called. But basically, I'm going to be pruning the lower third of branches, and if I see a multi-stem trunk, I'm going to pick the 5 best that I think look promising so that it can put all its energy into growing upwards, but not cutting so much that I shock the tree. Or shrub, because the sneezeweed is not a tree. That is definitely a shrub. As I come here, I don't want to get carried away because there's multiple species growing. This is a Ephedra, which also can grow a little bit taller when you see these long stems like this. And then the rest of this is sneezeweed. So we're going to focus on picking a couple that look good without getting too lost in the weeds. And what's nice is you can see all that vegetation that's piled up on the check dams. So here we are hedging our bets a little bit. You know, I don't think I need the big brush cutter for this one. I think a better tool for this job is going to be these automated pruners. Yeah. That's all dead branch. Okay. And we'll cut this to a single stem. Okay, there we go. And we'll cut a couple of these back here, and we will chop and organize it. And the same for this Ephedra. That's too long. Oh, that's, oops. Well, I told you I was learning on camera. This is why I'm not an expert. I just cut that one all the way back. It'll live, but that didn't help things. This one will grow up. Okay, here, and cut back the grass. That one Ephedra is okay. That one's okay. This one could be cut for that. Get rid of this one. Okay, we're gonna cut a lot of that back. These bushes just kind of stay the same. That agarita and that sneezeweed I'll focus on. Trying to minimize the amount of tool dropping that I do. Okay, I'll take this. Let that focus on going up. Get that with the brush cutter. Get all this dead stuff off this one. Just a couple more to go. I really wanted to focus on the Catclaw Acacia. I haven't touched this one yet. Apparently I have. I definitely have. It's funny, I don't remember it. Let's cut this growth back. There we go. Ow. Even with the gloves, that hurts. And that branch is okay. Get some of this dead stuff off. And if it's too thick for me to deal with without having to reach in, well, I'm not going to reach in and deal with it because I don't want to wind up like Remy. There we go. Now, I can bring the brush cutter through here and chop all this stuff back that's growing towards the north. And it's nice that we don't have to worry about floods anymore because of that big dam and all these check dams. So as I put this mulch down, there is some flowing water, but it's not so much that it's going to wash it away. And this one is Warnock's Condalia. This one is, it has spikes, but they're not too bad. Now, I can chop and organize. To some extent, I'm trying to balance getting the most value out of this mulch without winding up like poor Remy. And more stomping. I don't know if you noticed from the shadows that you see for me on the ground, but I'm trying to put as much of the mulch as possible to the south and ideally to the southwest. I want it to take away as much of the summer intense sun as I can. And that obviously happens in the northern hemisphere, happens on the south side and especially to the west. But we have that hill that's due west this way. So, you know, I don't have the vegetation exactly lined up just to the southwest, but pretty close. And I think for that guy, I'm gonna have to climb in there, and then that'll be the last one we prune in this area with the hand pruner. Then we'll go back and get the big guns. Look at that wood, isn't that pretty? So interesting. This is actually two trees. That's a Forestaria angustifolia, which is commonly called desert olive, but there's several trees that have that name. And then this is Warnock's Condalia. So the one with the pretty wood is the Condalia. So I think the best bet is to keep this one and then to start cutting this stuff back. I'm gonna use the brush cutter to get access because this is just too intense. I think it's just, you know, it's funny as a lot of these projects take 5 years and I've had the property for 3 years, really started in earnest about 2 years ago. So it's gonna be a while before this kind of effort really starts showing results. Hey, we got a yucca growing down here. Cool. I haven't actually seen, I don't know what kind of yucca this is, but I haven't seen very much of this at all. Yeah, and then I need the brush cutter to really even start getting access. We'll leave this here just in case. Hey, look, I found a young one. This is the perfect time. So, oh no, it's when I was tricked. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is just cutting the grass, especially this stuff that's all oxidized. This is doing absolutely nothing but sucking moisture out of the plant if it's still alive. So my goal is just to get all of the gray stuff cut away, and the live stuff, I want to prune that too. It'll cause the grass to self-prune its roots just a little bit, which will send some exudates into the soil and then really start encouraging it to grow again. So I worked my way back to where I stopped with cutting that condalia. Still got to get to the desert olive, but before I do that, I'm going to grab these pruners and I want to show you more work that I did than I remember. So I cut this desert olive back, well, it must have been 2 years ago, and now I can see that it's got some growth up on the top there, has more green at the bottom. So I'll have to clean this up now that I can walk through here. There's also this Catclaw Acacia. So we'll do some more pruning and get this better mulched now that I can see where I'm working. So this is where I'm doing something a little different than Planet Wild. I didn't see them mention anything about mulching. And I'm going to take one of the concepts from syntropic agroforestry and make sure that we get as much value out of this mulch as possible. You can tell when I was doing it across this whole area earlier, I was going really fast. I'm trying to strike the balance between pruning and getting the benefits of it, but for something this large, which is really valuable out here, I think it's worth the time to not sit here and cut each individual clump of grama grass to its optimum. I think that's better just to go quickly and let it drop. But for this desert olive, I think it's worth the time to give it all the love it can handle. No to this one. Whoa, there we go. Okay, let's cut the good one. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we organize. I finally see what I'm doing. Daniel up here in the 4300. Nope. That's somebody else. Let's see who it is. It's probably Border Patrol. How you doing?
Went the wrong way.
Oh. Howdy. Good, man. How are you?
Oh, you got a little kick on your chest.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I didn't see you had the cactus.
Hey, buddy. Hey, okay, hold on. I'll help you. I'll help you. Yes. Yes.
He's going to squeal. Just be ready for it.
Well, you got a Leatherman or something?
Yeah.
My gloves aren't.
Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, buddy. Sorry. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Your mine are too soft and.
There
Good
we go.
boy. Oh, okay. Oh.
He ripped that out like a champ.
Good boy. Sorry, buddy. You can't get it right.
So he said you guys are looking for the branch in the road?
Yeah.
So on Oxford Canyon, when you guys dip down, and you're coming back and you jump up,
Yeah.
that's where it branches off to the east and it goes up in the Indio Mountains.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was that. It's been a long time since I got here, man.
I haven't seen y'all in like 6 or 7 months.
Well, us, you won't see me or him because I'm the fire instructor and he's doing something else.
Oh, okay.
So we're just ones to go.
Lost in the desert?
No, well, kind of, sort of. No, what's wrong with you? No, on camera.
Just
no,
we're
going over
we're
there.
professionals.
We found them. I knew it was that one. I just know it's been a long. It took about years since I've been out here.
Yeah, I believe it.
So yeah, we're gonna go see how bad that is.
Okay.
So we're doing some road construction.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just
well, y'all are welcome back then.
That's a blade. That's a grater. I'm just doing what I can for now.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to fix what's messed up. This is perfect. So I ain't touching stuff like this.
Yeah.
But if it's advantage to everybody to fix it, I'll fix it on that.
Yeah, man. If you could, especially to where it splits off on Oxford Canyon, because I've been taking my dozer down there. And
yeah, I saw that. Like, man, someone's got a good dozer. I'm gonna borrow it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you come here with a road grader, it'd be nice because like dealing with that gravel and the rocks, like I can only do so much with the dozer.
Yeah. I can only do so much with a grader.
Yeah.
Come on, well, you wanna get up? Let's go. Come on. Oh, it's a puppy. I know.
Yeah, so we were just gonna check it out to see if we can get the grader in.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah. Piece of kit, you can definitely get the grader in. Yeah, no doubts.
All right, Tori, let's get out of your way and
alrighty.
Go ahead and not get lost anymore, hopefully.
Okay, and this is the after. I'm gonna do my best to organize this now. I got it all smashed down pretty good, but there's just so much stuff, it's kind of overwhelming. So I know, Tiago, you're watching this thinking, you could organize it better, but I'm done. That is pretty dramatic mulch coverage, and well, y'all be the judge. Do you think it looks like it's ready to grow? I was gonna ask if you think it looks better. I think it actually looks a little worse, but it's one of those things, 1 step backward, 2 steps forward, right? And now, you know, it's really not that hot, but I do need some water. Bet Remy does too, so we better go back to camp. Remy and I are back at camp now, although he drank too much water and made himself sick, so I gotta remember to bring his water bowl next time. The area that we worked was 0.07 acres, about 3,500 square feet. We'll put square meters on the screen. And that took a grand total of, I think I was out there for 2 hours. So here's the real question. What's the best use of time? And keep in mind that I also have to have stories to tell on YouTube every week. So I know there's people in the comments that want to see me just run the bulldozer and make swales constantly, but the bulldozer episodes bomb. So that's out of the question. Usually when I prune, those kind of episodes bomb. And I really don't want the project to be driven by views. Ultimately, it's mission focused and building the desert forest. What's the most effective thing for the given amount of time? And I think it's a mix of running the bulldozer and digging those swales, but ultimately it's like the system behind me, the syntropic agroforestry, making hyper-concentrated bets, islands of fertility, and getting them to expand. Because when we have a mulch factory, and especially whenever we're able to get a water well, thank you so much for everybody that donated. It's very overwhelming with how much everybody participated. So thank you for that. I want to keep following this pruning method. I want to identify a couple of spots on the ranch, especially if there are volunteers that want to come out here and prune and chop and take some ownership over a little plot. Then I think that's a great idea. But for my ultimate goals, and honestly the need to show progress on the channel, that's the water pump. I don't think the pruning method is the absolute best for what we're trying to do out here. However, I don't know that. So I think it's good to pick a couple of plots, just really go to town with the emphasis on Catclaw Acacia. You saw Lone Tree and how well it was doing. That was a Catclaw Acacia. And the reason I picked that spot behind the dam is that there's a lot of Catclaw Acacia over there too. And now that the check dams are installed, and especially the big dam is installed, there's a lot more water there for them to drink, and that means that they should have the opportunity to at least grow to the same size as what we see with Lone Tree. But it's going to be a long process. Catclaw Acacia is a very, very slow grower, but it does grow, and it is making progress. If you like this approach of using native vegetation to encourage a desert forest, check out this episode. We were told to burn this plant, but now it's part of the solution.